Hello, I'm Dreama Johnson, and today we're going to be talking about processing vendor payments. As many of us adjust to the changing environment, we're all seeking ways to increase efficiency and reduce the physical handling of paperwork. This includes the ability to process and deliver timely payments to vendors. Our current process of printing out the checks, waiting for signatures, and then physically mailing paper checks has become especially cumbersome with more employees working from home. One of the applications available in Advantage to address this concern is the Payment Manager. The Payment Manager gives you the ability to upload information to your financial institution to generate your vendor payments. With over 3 dozen existing file output formats already available, most of our clients can begin to use the application right away. So let's have a look at the setup. We'll start under Maintenance, Accounting, and Bank. You'll select the bank that you're going to use to process the payment, and then on the far right-hand side, choose the Payment Manager option. This opens the Payment Manager tab. Along with file output formats programmed to meet the needs of specific banks and financial institutions, Advantage includes a generic ACH format for both US and Canada, which generates a file more commonly known as a NACHA file. In addition, we've partnered with CSI and AnchorOps to facilitate your payment processing needs. Some of the options available under the export file is the Amegy Bank of Texas, your ACH generic for both US and Canada, the ACOM export, and ADP expense reimbursement, American Express, AnchorOps Fast Pay, AOC standard format, Wells Fargo Positive Pay, BNC Direct Credits, Bank of America, of which we have a couple of different options there, Chase Mini CSV, the CIBC EFT, City Direct, Comdata, Commerce Bank. We have a couple of CSI formats for both the normal export, checks, and the CSV format. We have Enhanced Positive Pay, Fast Pay, HSBC Bank, Key Bank, Invoice Pay, the payment company as both a TXT and CSV file, pay mode, PNC Bank's Active Pay, Positive Pay Export, the Pelican Pay system in a TXT file format, Scotiabank Positive Pay, T-Check, USB Bank options for flat file and CSV, Waterford Bank, and Wells Fargo FF and employee or payee validations. Once you've selected the payment file export type for your financial institution, you'll need to proceed to the required data fields. Each format will have required data fields that need to be populated in the bank maintenance to pull information into the correct position in your export file. We have a Payment Manager user guide available in the help documents to assist you with identifying these fields. So as you can see from the Payment Manager user guide, each bank file format is identified, and then the fields that are required, as well as any information about those fields. So for instance, for the ACH generic, the destination ID is the bank routing number. However, for your ACH Canada file, the same field will be populated by a number provided by the bank directly. In addition to these required fields, there are 2 fields in the bank maintenance that apply to all export types. These are the FTP client, and if you are manually uploading to an FTP site, You can enter the path for the FTP client software you'll be using here. The Payment Manager program will open your FTP client software so you can manually transmit the file to your bank. If you are not using an FTP client, you can leave this field blank. The file output directory is where you will enter the path where the exported file will be saved. This is a required field. In addition to your bank maintenance, you'll also need to obtain and enter the vendor's account information in vendor maintenance. So under maintenance, accounting, vendor, you'll select your vendor, and on the default notes tab, you'll locate the vendor account field. The most common format here is the vendor's bank routing number and the vendor's bank account number separated by a pipe character. Additional info may be required depending on your export file format selection. Once your setup is complete, in order to transmit the payments through the Payment Manager, you must first process the payables through Advantage check writing. That way, the associated accounts payable invoices are marked as paid in Advantage, and your records can then be exported through the Payment Manager. So we'll go under Home, Finance and Accounting, and Check Writing. When you're processing your disbursements through the Payment Manager, you may want to use the Manual Checks option. This way, a check is not printed. However, if you wish to print the checks on plain paper for your records, or if you're using the Payment Manager for positive pay only, you will process and print the checks as usual using the computer check option. You'll select your bank and then your date to pay cutoff. You can continue to create your selection based on your AP account, suppliers, default bank, or VCC accepted status based on how you normally process your check run. We're going to select a couple of vendors, save the information, and then proceed to the vendor detail. We'll choose our payment options and save. Once your payment selection has been made, you'll proceed to the process. Your selected check detail or selected check summaries can be printed as usual. Once your selections have been made, you'll generate check numbers, selecting the option. We'll choose to print checks, and if the manual option has been selected, the system will let you know that no check will be printed and you can continue with the post. We're going to post our checks. If CSI is your preferred provider, at this point, the transmit button would be populated. You could select that, and a file would be transmitted to CSI for you for them to begin processing your payment. Once your process is done, exit the check writing application and finish your check run. Now we'll access the Payment Manager under Finance and Accounting to generate our file to our bank. You'll select the bank you've written the checks on and the check run ID. When a check run is exported, the system will record an export date. This ensures that you don't accidentally export a file twice. If you do need to regenerate a file that has already been exported, you'll click the option to include exported, click on the check run ID, and as you can see, the check runs that have previously been generated will have that data information. You can choose the check run that you want to process currently. Go ahead and make that selection. If you need to override the entry class from CCD to PPD, you can do that here. And then also, if you're doing an ACH balanced file, you'll choose to include the debit record here. Click on the binoculars, and once your check's selected, appears, you'll click on the Print option. This is going to generate a report that you can use to verify that the check information that is currently selected is what you want to submit. This can be printed or you can simply exit the application. Once that's done, you're going to click the Process button. The system will then tell you the location of the file and the file name that has been successfully created. Would say OK here. Once that's done, you would access your file that's been created from the location that you've uploaded it, and you would upload that file directly to your bank for processing. Once that's been complete, you can click the little Transmit button, and it actually will let you know if your FTP client has been set up, that file has been transmitted, or in this case, it tells me that it was unable to transmit as my FTP client was not set up in bank maintenance. If you're not going to transmit via the FTP, you can simply exit the application. If you have any questions or need assistance with selecting the correct file format or processing your file, please give us a call and we'd be happy to help. Thank you so much and have a great day.